Welcome. You made it. You made it. You're here. Welcome. Come in. Everybody take a seat. Class is in session. So today we're going to be building a basic image generator inside of ComfyUI using only 7 nodes. And I'm going to explain each node, what they do, and what's inside of those nodes. So by the end of the video, you'll understand the ins and outs of how to build an image from scratch. So a quick thing before we start, this is just going to be your basic image generator. It definitely gets more advanced. We'll save that for another video. But the difference between this video and a couple of the other ones I've seen online is sometimes they just get way too extensive and way too long, and you just want something that shows you straight to the point, quick, easy to understand, especially if you're not really versed to like tech language and knowing what everything is already, like I was when I first started. This is going to be that video that you'll quickly get what I'm saying, and it's very comprehensible. Okay, let's just get into it. For context, my name is Karina. I'm a previous brick and mortar entrepreneur who is now 100% remote, working in tech online at home, building AI tools. So it's super fun. And I had to learn everything on my own. So I like teaching other people things very simply, very easily, very fast, straight to the point, and trying to help out people the way that I was looking for help when I was trying to learn myself. This is going to be your first workflow we have here. I'm going to show you guys how to do it from scratch, but let's take a look at the finished product. We have our model, our prompts, the generation area, and then this is where, this is where your results will be. This is what it looks like in full, up close. Very, very, very simple. I already have a prompt and everything in here, but we're going to go over and start our brand new one. This is our unsaved workflow, blank canvas, where we pretty much can start off doing anything that we want to do here. We're going to start off first by actually picking our model and which AI we're going to use to generate the images. If you watched the previous video, I showed you how to install your base model AI image generator, which will be Stable Diffusion. And then I also showed you how to install Juggernaut, which helps the base model do a little bit more hyperrealism, more abstract, and more detailed image generation. So we can either right click to add a node, or we can click the side where you already see nodes, models, etc. The easiest way is to do a right click, but we can also use the left side for models, which is right here. And your models, which you would have seen in the first video, you place them under checkpoints, and so that's where your models will show. But let's just do the right click for now. So your first node is going to be your checkpoint, right? So you can see it's already under Juggernaut, which works perfectly fine for us because we're actually going to try and make a simple YouTube thumbnail sized photo. Okay, so we have our beginning checkpoint. All workflows are going to start from left and end on the right. And then from our low checkpoint, our Juggernaut, our first node, you can see that we have 3 little dots right here: model, clip, VAE. We can grab these and bring them anywhere, and these are going to connect to the other nodes. But since we don't have one, we could let it go and look for our next node here. But to keep it easier for everybody right now, I'm going to show you guys the exact nodes that you need, and then we'll go a little bit more in depth to what they do. So your next nodes that you're going to need are your prompt, right? Because you got your model, and now we're going to go for the prompt. So it's going to be under conditioning. Under conditioning, you're going to look for clip, text, and code. So this is going to be your positive prompt. So what we want the image to do, what we want the model to create. Then we're going to do one more right after. Under conditioning, clip, text, and code prompt. And this is actually going to be our negative prompt. So what the negative prompt does is the total opposite of the positive prompt. We're going to say what we don't want specifically. We're not going to crowd it with too much information, just very little basics of what we don't want the model to create. Now we're going to add one more node right before the actual generation process. And we're going to size our photo that we're actually doing. So we're going to go to latent, empty latent image. And this is where you can actually set the width and height of your image that we're generating, and then also how many images do we want to create. This is pretty cool because if you want to generate and see a couple different options rather than just having one, we can set it to any number. We can type it, whatever value that we want to use, but we're just going to do one today. I like to do one because I like the model to just focus on one image at a time and put its best work and effort into one thing at a time rather than multiple. Next node that we're going to use is our K sampler. So our K sampler is basically the brain of the operation. So we have the model, which is basically like the body that you chose, like the body that you chose to use, and then K sampler is going to actually be the brain that's making everything work. So we're gonna go under sampling, and then we're gonna do K sampler. I like to make it a little bit bigger just because it is the brain, and I like to see and make sure I know what I'm looking at. I'm gonna tell you everything that the K sampler does and everything inside of it and what it means. But before we do that, I'm just gonna get all of the nodes down so you guys can easily see the workflow. And then I'm gonna put together, let's call them tentacles that connect each dot to the other dot, and we'll do that after. Okay, so we have our empty latent image, we have our K sampler. So now we need to start pulling out the information that we sent into the AI space, into the AI brain. We encoded a prompt, we sent things up into the brain. Now we're gonna start taking out what it created inside the brain and translate it basically into a language that we can understand. So now we're going to decode. Let's add the node. We're going to add a latent image decoder. So that just stands for variational auto encoder, and then decode. And then our last node that we're going to use is a image previewer. So if you want to automatically save, we can do a add node image save image on top of the preview image and connect the dots. But for the sake of the 7 nodes that I said that we were just going to use today, let's keep it as a preview image. But let's remove this right now. So we're going to put preview image, and this is our last node. So it's going to literally show you what the image is right here. This is just a blank canvas that takes all the information and all the work that was done right here in your workflow and show you what you have made. These are the 7 nodes that you're going to use in your workflow to start your image generation. So right now it just looks like a mess of boxes, right? But let's go in and actually connect the dots. Let's call them tentacles because it just seems a little bit more interesting, and I'll show you guys how to do that, and I'll explain to you what each node does in depth. This is how I like to keep my workflow. I use this really to generate faces. And I'll take the faces, create characters with the faces, and use them for different examples, either YouTube thumbnails or a face that I want to use for a avatar or for emotes or whatever the case, when people don't want to use their actual identity or their actual face, or I just need some type of artificial model. But before we get into all of that, you have all of your nodes. Let's now connect. Connecting is very simple. It's color to color. So we have our model. Where does the model need to go? The model needs to go where it says model. So we have the K-sampler. Just take the color and look at the name of what it is and find that and drop that there. We have our clip. We're going to do the clip here, the clip here. Oops. The clip here and the clip here to encode. And to make it a positive and a negative, very simple. We have our conditioning. We're going to bring one of them to positive and the other one to negative. So then we have our VAE. We're going to connect our VAE to our VAE, which is the decode. And now we're all set with the first node. This is all the way connected. All the tentacles are reaching exactly where it needs to go. Our conditioning is also set up to the K-sampler. So these are done as well. There's no more tentacles to connect, but we have our latent image. Where does latent image go? Latent image goes to latent down here. We also have a latent image output. So this is latent image input. For visual purposes, let's bring it back here. Our latent image output is going to go into the decoder. The colors will always match up to where the tentacles are going. And we're just using the word tentacles for today because, or whenever I make a video on this, we're gonna use the word tentacles. I realized I liked it because it feels like an octopus. Like the octopus is the main point and the tentacles are just, doing what they need to do. Last but not least, our preview image. So we're gonna take the image that has been now generated and decoded into our language for our eyes to be able to understand and see. We're gonna put that into the preview image. So beautiful. This is your workflow. This is identical to the one that I have. We can use this one. There's absolutely nothing wrong, but I already have one set up for us and I'll go through what everything means in each node, but it just looks so much better. I had already had it prepared. It's the one that I personally use. So let's go look at the one that I personally use. All right, so this is our workflow. Let's zoom in. We have our loading checkpoint, our model, Juggernaut. Juggernaut, like I told you guys before, is the base. Juggernaut is the extension off of our base model, Stable Diffusion. Juggernaut just makes it a little bit more in detail and better for humans, skin texture, just generating more human-like hyper-realistic photos. So we have that. We have everything connected. We have our positive prompt, and now we have our negative prompt. This was a quick prompt that I looked up on ChatGPT just to have something. This is too much, and it's too repetitive, right? So we're gonna do... And now on our negative prompt, we have, I can't think of anything specifically right now, but let's just leave it at that. Okay. This is usually the thumbnail dimensions that I like to use. So I'm gonna leave it at 1280, 720 width and height. Batch size is at how many photos do we want? We're gonna leave it at 1. Now the fun part, the generation. Let's go to K-sampler and zoom in. We're gonna go over what each of these mean. So the seed is basically the number of the photo. Like it's actually like it's social security number. So if we keep everything the same and we press generate, it's gonna generate an image under this seed. If we do it again and change nothing, it's going to generate the same exact image. Nothing is going to change. If we redo the seed, if we change, just leave everything the same, but let's say we just put the number 1 under seed, it's going to show us a different image, and that different image is going to be for that seed number. So that's all seed is. It's basically a number to a photo, like it's social security number. Control after generate, just simply put, it will create something new over and over again, or you bring it all the way over to fix, and then it will keep the same exact type of generation. This is just to help control your image at the end. Steps is basically how many steps it takes the AI to get to the image that you want. If I want an image done in 10 steps, it's like, hurry up, create this in 10 minutes. Not literally minutes, create this in 10 steps, create this as fast as possible. 30 steps is like, okay, I'm giving you like 30 steps to get some more detail in there to really try and figure out what I want and do your best or a better job. I like to leave it around 20 to 30 at most. That's usually like the average area of leaving it. And you want to be careful of putting it too high, putting it too low for not getting something that you actually want. CFG stands for classifier free guidance. So basically you have the steps above, and now the CFG is like the freedom that AI gets to either have to listen to exactly what you said or have a little bit of freedom to do what it thinks it should create. Next, we have the scheduler. Basically, that's just the method that it uses to generate. Just leave it at normal. It's like a default setting. The noise is pretty much the level of from scratch that you're starting from. You can leave it at 1.0 because we're doing a text to image. This will change a little bit if you're doing image to image or any type of generation that's not text to image. But since we're literally starting from scratch at text, English language to AI language to image, we're gonna leave it at 1. And that's just something that you'll get into a little bit more during using a K-sampler advanced or a different type of image generation. So with that being said, we've gone through the K-sampler. We're almost there. So easy. From here, it's pretty much understanding that this was all of this. Actually, you know what? This is a good time to add a group for a visual representation, right? So we have our model, we chose that, that's here. We have our prompts, that's here because we have to type that in. That's like what we can understand and what we can see. The sizing, the empty latent image, this is what we can understand. All of that information now goes into like the AI universe. Like the brain is where everything's happening. And this AI universe is where it's generating and it's creating something. And this VAED code is where it's leaving. Now we have our actual result. So when you're ready, you just hit run and it will literally show you the workflow. It's literally working in front of our eyes right now. To decode. And then our image. We just generated our first AI image. Well, I generated our first AI image together. You guys will do it separately, but this is our first AI image together. What do you guys think? We asked for the bright highlights. We didn't have to say beautiful and she's gorgeous. Beautiful eyes. She looks like a gamer girl. We have our headset on. We have our nice background with the glow. Wow, and this was on 7.0? 7.0 for the creative freedom. 30 steps is a little high, so that's also what helped it be very, not very specific, but pretty much very specific. And we gave it the freedom to design the girl how the AI wanted to, right? How the model wanted to, because we didn't give description on how the girl should look. Tan skin, light skin, long hair, short hair, specific colors, we didn't. We gave it the freedom to do what it wanted, and it generated a very good photo. This is actually a photo. Luckily it saved. I like it. I might use it. So to see our saved photo, assets, boom. So we have our assets here. Congrats. You finished your workflow, and even better, you deeply understand what each of them do. I'm building a lot of this out in public because I think that with the advancement of AI and the advancement of technology, you gotta stay with what's going on. You don't want to get left behind. So if you're here, you're already in the right direction. Let's all learn together, and why not share the things that we learn, share with each other. The Discord is in the bio as well. You can come talk to me actually personal there. It pops up on my phone, ready for me to talk to you as soon as possible. Let me know how it didn't make sense and how I can help you understand it more. Listen, if you create something and you want to just show me something as basic as a face, I am so down. Come talk to me, show me what you've made. I hope this helped a lot, and I can't wait to show you the advanced version. I hope this helped. Thanks for sticking around. Congrats on watching. Like, congrats. You literally just learned something that a lot of people don't know. So good job, proud of you. Stay for the next video. If you like this, thumbs up, like it, subscribe. I have so much more to show you guys, and I can't wait to show you guys. Peace. Good job.